What's up, winners? Naam here. In today's video, I will be reviewing the Apple Card. There were some recent changes to this credit card, so I just want to make sure I cover everything so you guys have a better understanding whether or not this card is worth applying for. So I'll cover all of the perks, things that I dislike about this card, the eligibility requirements, and some comparison cards towards the end of this video. So let's start off with the perks. So with this card, you can earn 3% cash back at Apple. You can also earn 3% cash back at selected merchants whenever you use Apple Pay. Some of these merchants, they include ExxonMobil, Uber and Uber Eats, Walgreens, Duane Reade, Nike, and also T-Mobile. You also earn an additional 2% cash back wherever Apple Pay is accepted, and also 1% cash back everywhere else. So depending on when you watch this video, for the month of July, the Apple Card is temporarily offering $50 cash back for Apple service purchases. So to get this $50 bonus, all you would have to do is pay for Apple services such as Apple Music, TV Plus, or App Store purchases within 30 days of this account opening. Apple does give sign-up offers every now and then. I believe back in June, they gave a $50 cash back when you would spend $50 at a Walgreens. So whenever you go to the Apple website, they'll have this little flippy tab where it shows no fees ever. This is a bunch of crap. Let me break this down just a little bit further. Well, it's not completely true. Some things are true, like no annual fees or foreign transaction fees. But there's one thing that's a complete lie. They said that there are no late fees. What does that ever mean for a credit card? So if that basically means if I'm late to a payment, I should not get charged a fee, right? That would just make sense. But whenever you click on that little 3 next to the late fee, it will take you to the fine print at the bottom of the page saying that any late or missed payments will result in additional interest accumulating towards your balance. What is the point of saying no late fees when there's obviously a late fee? I don't know, maybe the meaning of late fee and accruing interest mean different things, but I feel like this is very deceiving. In addition to that, they also said that there's no over the limit fees. This basically means if you have a credit card limit of $5,000, if you attempt to spend over $5,001, they will charge you with a fee. This is something that I never get just due to the fact that in most cases, if you try to go over your credit limit, they will automatically decline your card. I guess this just is another thing just for marketing purposes. Keep in mind that this is still a credit card. The only thing that you should be focusing on is the no annual fees and foreign transaction fees. But on a positive note, they do have this thing that's integrated into the payment system where they encourage you to pay less interest. Like for example, if there's a balance on your card, you can look it up on the app and it will show you the estimated interest that you end up paying based on your balance. I feel like this is very beneficial, especially for individuals who are just starting on their credit journey, but my recommendation is always paying your balance in full every single month. Also, never purchase anything that you're not able to pay in cash. The main point of a credit card is just to get to the perks on things that you're gonna purchase anyways. So on the topic of interest, on eligible Apple products, you can get interest-free financing over time. So for example, if you wanted to buy a new iPhone, you can have monthly payments for 24 months. And if you wanted to buy a new iMac, you can pay monthly payments for up to 12 months, and etc. So now let's talk more about the application process. Since it is an Apple Card, you need an Apple device. The Apple Card was designed more like a digital card rather than a physical card, so if you never used Apple Pay before, you're not alone. I recently just started using Apple Pay just about a year ago, so all you gotta do is register your card into the app and just double tap on the side button for payment. So once you get approved, that's when you can request for a physical card. The physical card is actually made out of titanium, so technically it's a metal card, so that gives you some credit card clout. But on the card itself, there's no card number, no CVV, there's also no expiration date, so it's pretty minimal. If you wanted a credit card number, you would have to get a virtual number on the wallet app of your iOS device. So whenever you want to apply for this card, you only need to enter the last 4 digits of your social security number, then Goldman Sachs, which is the credit card issuer, they will give you a decision about your credit limit and your APR first, then they will let you decide whether or not you want to continue. If you choose not to move forward or get denied, there won't be any hard pulls. The only way that you'll get a hard pull if you continue to finish the whole process. So now let's just say you went ahead and applied for the card, but you got denied. On the Apple website, there's a bunch of examples on why your application may get denied. So a few of them are being behind your debt obligations, meaning that you have a bunch of past due balances, negative public records such as bankruptcies or property repossessions, your debt to income ratio is out of whack, and lastly, frequently applying for a bunch of credit cards and loans in a short period of time. These are just a few examples, but there could be a bunch of different factors that Goldman Sachs look into your application to determine whether or not you can be eligible. Because the truth of the reality is that there's no guarantee to getting approved for this card, but based on the interweb and other individuals who've had this card, it is a relatively easy card to get a hold of. But for some reason you're not able to get approved, you may get an invitation to enroll into the Path to Apple Card program. So this program recently got rolled out by Apple to help individuals who recently got denied from this card to get them on the right track to get approved. So once you opt into this program, you get once a month updates on your progress on specific tasks that you must complete to increase your credit score so you have a better chance of approval. Some of these examples include resolving past due balances, making payments to secured and unsecured debt accounts on time, and lowering your credit card and personal debt. This program goes on for about 4 months or so, so once you complete all the tasks that are required of this program, that's when you'll be asked to reapply within 14 days. But if you don't reapply within 14 days of receiving an invite, Goldman Sachs, they said that they would just reevaluate your application as they normally would, so it would be in your best interest if you still want this card just to apply as soon as you get the invite. So depending on what's your knowledge like on building credit or credit cards in general, it's pretty straightforward because all you gotta do is keep your credit card balances low and just pay them off on time. But this is actually one of the first programs that exists because there's really no other credit card that actually does this, that try to work with you and try to help you build your credit again to help you get approved for this card. There are other credit cards that offer pre-approval offers. Basically, this is where you apply and just to see if you will get approved without a hard pull. But the path to the Apple Card is more like a step-by-step process where they walk you through the way so you get a better chance of approval. But just keep in mind that this is an actual unsecured credit card, meaning that there's gonna be some reasons why you won't get approved for this card. If your credit history is bad, like your score is low, ranging from 3 to 500, you have a very high balance on your credit card, like you have a debt of $20,000, it may be in your best interest to resolve those debts first because 9 out of 10 times, if you resolve those debts, your credit score will jump right back up. So based on my research, the FICO score that you typically need is around 600, which is considered in the fair range, meaning that for people who have less than perfect credit, who want to build credit, they have some pretty good chances of getting approved for this card. So far, I just talked about the features and eligibility requirements for the Apple Card. Now let's talk about how this credit card compares to its competitors. The first card that we will be talking about will be the Citi Double Cash Card. So this is a pretty basic credit card where you just get 1% cash back when you make purchases and 1% cash back when you pay it off. This is probably one of the best essential credit cards that anyone can have because it has a straightforward 2% cashback system. Most cards, they don't give you 2% cash back on everything. Most credit cards have different type of categories like gas, restaurants, and travel, but in most cases, credit cards will only give you 1% cash back on other purchases. If you like the simplicity of just a cashback card, this is probably the best one on the market. The next one that we will be comparing it to will be the Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card. Personally, I think this is one of the best starter cards because it is relatively easy to get. If you bank with Bank of America, you have a pretty high chance of approval if you apply in branch. And also, you don't need to have a social security number to get this card. If you are a student or a person here on a work visa with an I-10, you can still apply for this card in branch. What I really like about this card is mainly due to its perks. Unlike the Apple Card, this card does offer a sign-up bonus where you can get $200 cash back after making $1,000 in purchases within the first 90 days. You get 3% cash back on your category of choice. Some of these categories include gas, online shopping, dining, travel, drugstores, or home improvement or furnishings. So for the 3% cashback category, you can change the category every single month. Unlike other credit cards that offer rotating categories where you have to wait every single quarter, if you can predict when you're gonna make a large purchase in a specific category, you can just kind of plan this out so you get the maximum cash back. You also get 2% cash back at grocery stores and wholesale clubs, plus you get an additional 1% cash back on all other purchases. The caveat with the 3 and 2% cash back is that you can only earn those on the first $2,500 in combined purchases per quarter. So in addition to that, you can also earn more rewards if you have a Bank of America account or with Merrill Lynch. So depending on your account size, you can get an additional 25 to 75% boost on your cash back. For example, if you have $100,000 of funds inside of a Bank of America savings or checking account or inside of an investment account with Merrill Lynch, you can essentially receive 5.25% cash back at the highest category. So here are my final thoughts. The Apple Card is really for anyone who likes Apple products because there's really no other way to get this card without an iOS device. It is estimated about 2/3 of all merchants accept Apple Pay, but there's still quite a bit that don't, so this may be a deal breaker for some. But if you are an Apple enthusiast and you live in a city where there's abundance of Apple Pay merchants, then this card could be worth it for you. Plus, there's no annual fee or foreign transaction fees, so it is worth keeping for the long term. Alright guys, so that pretty much does it for me. If you guys haven't already, make sure you give this video a like because that really helps support the channel. And if you want to hang out with me some more, check out my videos over here.